In this video, I am going to around 3. Welcome to the road to $1 million in crypto live stream, where I'm going to try and document my journey over the next 300 days to see if it's possible to get to that number. Now, if you're new, my name is Ash. I'm an entrepreneur and I believe in financial education because that is the only way you and I are going to build financial independence. So like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and join me on this journey. This is day 7. Let's start. All right, everybody, welcome back to the spreadsheet. And as you can see, even though our numbers are down slightly in terms of ETH and BTC revenue, we are up in terms of fish revenue. So if you're seeing this for the first time and you have no idea what you're looking at, here is a really quick update. In the first row, you see mining revenue to date. This is basically a snapshot of my Bitcoin and Ethereum mining profitability. So in case you don't know, I am a cryptocurrency miner, have been so for the past 6 months. All right. And in the second row here, which is basically row number 4, technically the third row, the Fishswap profitability. Fishswap is it's a decentralized finance app or a decentralized app on the Binance Smart Chain. And this allows you to buy the token, in this case, the fish token, and stake it or lend it as liquidity. And as a result, you get to earn interest, massive interest. It's awesome. And then, of course, the third category is our main portfolio, which probably needs to be updated. I always say it. Anyways, let's jump into the second section here, which is the daily earnings. Oops, my bad. All right, so here it is in the daily earnings section here. So average earnings right now on Bitcoin is around $11 per day, probably lower now that the markets have basically tanked so hard. ETH is also down. It's not really $90. It's more like $50 or maybe just under $60. But that's the average over the last, you could say, 10 days or so. All right, I've got to update that soon. Actually, let's go ahead and update it right now. Let's see. So we have mining profitability so far. All right, over the last, let's see here. Yeah, over the last 24 hours, our Bitcoin mining was actually quite low, around $9.81. That's with 4 ASIC miners running. So really, really bad in terms of profitability right now. I did have to switch off lots of my miners for energy consumption purposes. All right. And then on the ETH side here, yeah, way under $60, actually under $50. That we earned over the last 24 hours. So about $46 there. So again, average price here would probably be a lot lower. Let's go ahead and check. All right, so yeah, you could say that the average on Bitcoin is around $9 and the average on ETH is around $52, considerably lower. This is column AL, so let's go ahead and update this here. AL. By the way, if you want access to a template like this, you'll find it in the description below. I'll probably remove all my data so that you can track your own investments. All right. Okay, so you can see that with the updated prices there, our daily revenue has dropped considerably. So we're down to about $162 a day. Not that great. Not that great if you're a miner. But if you are in decentralized finance, that's still pretty cool. All right, so that's mining so far. Only to this week to date, about $248. Last week, about $719. The week before, $914, and so on. So as you can see, we've dropped a lot. We've dropped a lot. All right, but of course, this week's not over. We still have lots of days to go here. So we'll calculate the total amount very soon. All right, let's take a look at Fish earnings over the last 24 hours. So as you can see, I did update this a few moments ago. I saw a fish price of around $121 or about 986 tokens. Let's go ahead and check. All right, so we have about 990 tokens. So let's just go ahead and write that down. 990. And token price, I've got 123 here, so it's around 126, which is around 12 cents or 12.6 cents. Not that great, unfortunately, in terms of the fish price. Let's actually have a look at what's happening here in the fish market. I'm going to be releasing a video very soon addressing the recent fish FUD that has occurred with regards to their announced airdrop and then them kind of changing the rules about the airdrop. It's actually quite sad, and as a result, you could see that we were kind of doing pretty well, and then we just started tanking, and we started going up again a little bit after the token burn earlier today, and now there's a little bit of selling happening there too. So all in all, not the most stable of times right now, unfortunately, and it also does definitely suck because we were up here at one point. We were at $1 at one point, and I remember making that video about a month ago, and it went. I got some really good results. I had lots of views on that video. But as a result, subsequently, we saw lots of dumping here. So it might be a trend that we're noticing. The actual probably support line for fish, I would say probably about 10 cents, maybe 11 cents right now. We hope it will be higher, much, much higher. Like I mentioned in the previous live stream, we are going to see a listing, or a few listings rather, on a few centralized exchanges. So that's a really, really cool opportunity. We might see a listing price of around $1. So if you're holding fish, it might be a really, really cool opportunity to arbitrage. Again, not financial advice. Do whatever you want. By the way, if you haven't followed me on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook, I'll have links to that in the description below. So make sure you check that out. All right, let's go ahead and compound this investment. By the way, in case you're wondering why this live stream is called Road to $1 Million, is because we're applying a traditional investment principle here, which is compounding interest. We're going to take everything we earn in interest every single day and put it back in. We're going to reinvest it back in. So that means over 300 days, that's probably like 300 plus reinvestments. And so the idea behind that, the madness behind that, is to considerably and exponentially grow our investments over time, the same way we would a mutual fund or ETF type of fund, right? So that's kind of what we're doing here. We're taking the traditional principle and we're applying it here, except the nice thing is that we get to enjoy a really awesome amazing interest rate. So as you can see right now, the interest rate on this particular pool is about 4.48% per day, which is pretty crazy. It's really crazy. So if I put that into a compound interest calculator and I go off my original principal, which you could say is around $2,400. You could say $2,500, but let's just put in 2.4. All right, we'll compound that daily. So let's go ahead and choose daily here. And let's say we're invested for 1 year. So it means every single day, just putting it back in, putting it back in. That means after 365 days, just doing this day in, day out, without the temptation of taking that money out, we're probably looking at about $3.9 million. All right, this is just pure math based on compounding interest. And so that's something that I'm really wanting to test. I have no idea if this is going to work or not. And I really, really, really hope it does, but I could completely make a fool of myself. And so that's the purpose of this live stream, so it can be kind of educational, maybe a little bit entertaining too, but the whole purpose, of course, is so that you can see how it's done. And if you want somebody to kind of go along the journey with you, so to speak, well, you've got me. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and compound this. Let me show you how it's done here really quickly. I'm going to start with the farm section, which is right here. As you can see, I'm minting about 79 tokens there. I am going to choose the harvest button. All right, so choose harvest and pay the gas fee. Make sure you've always got BNB in your wallet when you are trying to do this. All right, so now it's withdrawn that into my Smart Chain wallet, which is really cool. There it is right there. And let's go over to the pool section and do the same thing. We've got about 915. Let's click harvest and choose confirm. And awesome, very cool. So let's have a look. We currently have 995 tokens. So between the time that I started and now that I'm talking to you, you could say that we've minted a few extra tokens. So let's go ahead and update that price. We currently have 995. All right, so it's about $122. Not too bad, not too bad at all. And so we're just gonna put that back into the pool. All right, so click on the plus sign, choose max, and choose confirm. All right, so very cool. So if you ever decide that you want to get into this kind of investment vehicle, if you like, you'll start to see really nice numbers once you have a large enough investment. So we currently have about just under 21,000 fish tokens. And every day that just keeps growing and keeps growing and keeps growing. And that's really, really powerful and really cool. It's much, much easier to do this over a period of time than to buy that much tokens. I mean, it's obviously easier to buy tokens, but I'm just saying, like, in case you can't afford it, in case you're like thinking to yourself, hey, that's nice and all, but that's a really, really large amount. I don't have that kind of money. Well, you don't have to start out that way. You could just start out with a few tokens, maybe 1,000 tokens, which you can get for just over $100. And over time, over a month, you'll get to about maybe 10,000, maybe more than 10,000. So you got to start somewhere. And that's the most important thing about investing, especially using a traditional principle like compounding. Time is your friend. All right, let's go ahead and move over to the chat section to see if anybody is saying anything. All right, my beautiful wife is here. Hello, honey. Thank you so much for hanging out today. All right, let's see if anybody else is in here. All right, I don't see anyone else, which means that I want to say thank you all so much for watching this video and watching this live stream. Let me move over to the next section, which is something I'm really, really excited about. This is our bread and butter. And if you're someone who's tired of worrying about work and when your next paycheck is going to come in, maybe you've lost your job and you have no idea what to do. Well, I want to tell you about a really cool opportunity where you can learn how to build your own online course business by attending our free workshop. In our workshop, we'll teach you how to go from zero to sales in less than 60 days. The workshop is totally free, and you can learn how to do this simply by clicking the link in the description below. So I encourage you guys to check that out if you want to learn how to build your own business completely online. And with that said, guys, I want to say thank you so much for joining me on today's episode. It was a short one, but hopefully you saw that I was consistent and hopefully got some value from this. Again, something that is totally risky. Please always do your own research before you decide to try and do something like this. If you do, always make sure that you start out small. Always start out with money that you're willing to lose so that your loss ratio will be very low. Don't put in your life savings. Don't put in your kids' savings. Don't put in any of that stuff. Always just start out really small and safe and build over time. Don't go in heavy because you can get completely ruined, especially in the crypto market, okay? So that's it, guys. Make sure you like this video if you found it valuable. Subscribe and follow me in all of these wonderful social channels. I'll see you in tomorrow's episode. Take care.